We get market open in a few seconds. And as the GIFT Nifty showed, it's perhaps, likely we get a higher start, a third of a percent around. So there you go. First trades, 24,223 on the Nifty. The Nifty Bank is starting about 0.3% higher. The Sensex is up a third, and the mid-cap index is up about 0.6% as well. So that is the overall picture which is coming through. Look at advanced decline, 1,000 higher, about 500 lower. It's a decent 2:1 advances to decline ratio, but this is still very early. So maybe in at least 15-20 minutes, and the advanced decline starts to be a little more credible. We got 85-point gain on the Nifty, the heat map showing that everything, 36 odd names are in the green as we begin this session. So almost a 100-point gain is what you have. I mean, look at that. The two big losers are Asian Paints and Britannia. Not big, but I mean, two of the few names which are in the red are Britannia and Asian Paints. Otherwise, it's broadly up and in the green. Surabhi.
That's the thing with Britannia. I know Manglam was pointing out how the volume number is absolutely in sync, but the market's perhaps in that mood where if there's something wrong with the number, the market just doesn't like it. And despite that 5% fall yesterday on Britannia, why is the stock selling off today? Because look at the margin compression. I mean, it's not something you can ignore that lightly. From a margin of 19.7% in the same period last year, the margins now come down to 16.8%. That's serious EBITDA margin compression. And that continues to be a bit of a niggle. Maybe at some point buyers come in, because now with this 2.5% decline in stock, we're talking about stock down 7% in a matter of 2 days. Maybe the buyers will come in. Anyway, moving on beyond Britannia, ONGC is the best performer on the Nifty. Of course, earnings also came through up and about. Hindalco, like Nigel is explaining, thanks to the India business. There's lots of green on the screen there as well, 1.5% up. Tata Steel is actually also positive. And you have a couple of the financial stocks that are starting off strong. ICICI Bank is up and about. There's SBI Life, there's Bajaj Finserv, Shriram Finance. So, lenders, non-lenders, insurers, mix of financials that are doing quite well. Even HDFC Life is up and about. Trent is up 1%. Remember, yesterday we were talking about the Goldman Sachs target. I think 8,000 was their call on the stock. So it continues its good showing from yesterday. On the downside, beyond Britannia, Asian Paints, which is still lower by 1.5%. Then there is Dr. Reddy's, Cipla, some stocks on the way down. Actually, it's more FMCG, just lackluster. HUL, Nestle, a lot of these other stocks as well. Slightly red as we begin the day.
Well, Surbhi, the stock to focus on is UPL. Yesterday, the stock ended virtually at the low of the day. But I remember in CB, we had pointed out that the company has maintained its guidance, and some of these stocks like Loris, UPL, the street gives them that long handle and says maybe the next quarter or the next one will be even better. Now, they maintain their guidance. They're saying that EBITDA growth of around 50% is maintained with operational cash flows of around $300 to $400 million. So that explains yesterday, after being down by close to around 6%, it's bounced back by close to around 5% today. Triveni Turbines, that's the other stock that's opened up. Gap up, so good up move is what we're seeing on that stock. Another big underperformer is HLE Glasscoat. It's been one of our rank underperformers, but that stock has opened up with a gain of close to around 10%. It's one of the top gainers. Volume's not very, very high, close to around 60,000 shares, but that one has opened up higher in trade today. So good up move is what we're seeing. The other couple of stocks that are reacting to its numbers, NMDC, we told you the numbers are disappointing. The stock is down close to around 2.5%. Quarter 3 will be far better because of the price increases they've taken. So let's see whether or not there is some recovery from those lows. The other couple of names that are doing well, LTTS is up 2.5%. Ramco Cements is holding with a gain of around 1.5%. So though those numbers are blockbuster, the street is still concerned that yes, there could be concerns because two new players are entering into the South market, Ultratech as well as Adani Cement, and that will make things rather challenging. So actually that stock has come off the high point of the day. So it's a good start, Prashant. 80 points higher. The 24,350 mark, that's the first resistance zone. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not we can get closer to that. But the Nifty Bank already above 52,000.
Absolutely. Rate gain will come up on your screen. It's, I think, got some volumes and it's down 7%. I mean, it's a fairly well-owned stock in the sort of travel SaaS space. And look at volumes, about 140,000 shares on rate gain. I think numbers came in the last 48 hours or so. That is taking a bit of a knock. What else? I think NMDC, of course, NMDC Britannia we mentioned. Piramal Pharma is down about 3.5%. And it's been coming off pretty sharply. So the high 3 days back was about 310 and stocks at about 260. 310 to 260 in just 3 days flat. PGEL, which is Electroplast, the EMS company, yesterday's high was about 710. Stocks at about 630. Is down about 3%. It's got volumes in it. We just spoke with Akums Drugs, 5.5% lower. And, it basically listed at close to, I'll tell you, about 900 rupees, not very long back, about 15, 20 days back. And it's already at about 680 right now. So that's coming under some pressure. HG Infra is down about 4.5%. And then you go down the list, volumes are, of course, a little lackluster. Vari Energy, by the way, once again, is the biggest volume-led gainer. It's up about 3.5%. So Vari, of course, the high was about 3,700 4 days back. Stocks at about 29.30. But today it's already seen a bit of a move higher. Triveni Turbine, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, 8.5% higher on Triveni Turbine. It's a big move. There's JSW Energy, GE, T&D, etc., which are coming up with strong gains. Surabhi?
On Triveni, I went back to check the investor presentation because the numbers had come yesterday. And the numbers are absolutely fantastic. 30% top line growth, 320 basis points margin expansion. EBITDA surged by about 45%. So it's been a blowout quarter and the stock's getting rewarded for that. So this is one mid-cap that's definitely catching the headlines. And the other one would be, of course, Jubilant Foodworks, like Manglam pointed out. The pizza is tasting good this quarter. The gain is now almost 6% on Jubilant as well. So after a long time, we're seeing some positive, pleasant earnings pops this morning.
Absolutely. We should just mention one more name if we have it, if we can pull it up. Pix Transmission, I think it's called. I'm only mentioning it, never mentioned it before. 7.5% higher, but look at the volumes on it. I mean, I think it's a fifth or the sixth largest volume traded gainer right now. There you go. That's the one I'm talking about. Okay, volumes not showing, but on my screen, volumes are very large. So we'll, value traded is pretty large for now. About 12,000 shares odd is what it's traded.